What's up, everybody? Jeremy here from MTG headquarters, doing a little something different. I'm going to do a little limited deck tech. I wouldn't say I'm a competition quality limited player, but I play a ton of sealed, mostly online. I would say I'm a consistent 2-win guy with a maybe 1 out of 4 times I'll take it down, smaller events. So the first thing you do when you get your 6 packs is you open them. And I like to open them just kind of, you know, sealed events for me aren't as fun as like pack openings. How do I say, like, I don't go through each pack and get all pumped up about what's in it. I actually just, first thing I do is color sort. And I'm definitely not somebody who spends the entire time making his or her deck. I go through the decks pretty fast. There are a couple things I've learned over the last couple sets when you build a sealed deck. And that's, first of all, you want to try to build in a couple different win conditions. So, like, having 1 bomb card. I mean, I just played a limited event, a 3-rounder, with, like, you know, Magic Online, where I had Gideon Jara and Obsidian Ghost Council, and I didn't see either one of them until the final match, and I only saw them in game 2. So, it's a good thing to keep in mind that you're not always going to pull off that bomb combo, things like that. So I'm gonna go through Grizzly Spectacle. I'm gonna actually do like a little draft analysis too of this, maybe this first pack. Metropolis Sprites, okay. Smite's pretty strong. Slaughterhorn's pretty strong too. Grizzly Spectacle is amazing. Followed by Executioner Swing, another pretty solid removal card. Razortip Whip, Debtor's Pulpit, okay. Some people play it, I don't. Urban Evolution's very strong. Boros Elite's good. Blind Obedience is great in Orzhov or Boros, honestly. And then we've got a Diluvian Primordial. So we got a rare. Let's color sort this. However, well, actually, what I should do probably is, let's go through each pack and just look at the uncommons and the rares, and then I'll speed it up while I color sort. Agoraphobia, Murder Investigation, Guardian of the Gateless, pretty strong. Oh, and a Stomping Ground. Okay. I get less excited about Shocklands and sealed events just because, you know, I'd rather have some killer removal. Scar Guildmage, Dying Wish, Homing Lightning's pretty strong. And wow, back-to-back in the Zamek Guildmage, back-to-back Shocklands. In this pack, we've got Skullcrack, Fortress Cyclops is okay. Biomass Mutation, never really used it. Killing Glare, a lot of foils. This pack, Call of the Nightwings, pretty strong. Ripscale Predators, pretty strong. Cinder Elemental, very strong. We got a Death Pact Angel, very strong. If you're going to play Orzhov, I don't know if it would. It's not a first pick for me, but Sunhome Guildmage, that's a first pick for me. If we're talking about drafting. Simic Charm, and then a Wrecking Ogre, very strong card. All right, so I'm going to get color sorting, and we'll pick it back up once I've done that. All right, so once I have done a little bit of color sorting, I like to look at the guild cards first and decide if there's anything that really is a good indicator of what guild I should be playing. One of the early things I look at too is removal. Let's say if I'm playing black and I've got like something crazy like 2 Grizzly Spectacles, a Killing Glare, and something else, I can almost guarantee you I'm playing black. I'm at least splashing it because removal is just so powerful. But what we've got here for Gruul, we've got Scar Guildmage, which is very solid. Ruination Worm, so-so. I mean, 7/6 for 6 is okay. it fits the Gruul thing. And Primal Visitation is like I mean, it would be like my 23rd card if I'd put it in. These are just my opinions based on how I play it. Then we've got the Simic. So you got Bioshift, which is okay. I never really end up playing it. Zamek Guild Gauge is very strong. Urban Evolution is great too because it allows you to draw 3 cards plus play an extra land. Simic Charm. This one's okay. And Biomass Mutation. I'm sure there's a win condition with it. I just have never played it. So based on the early like dual color cards right now, I'm not seeing anything I absolutely love. So on to Dimir. We got Paranoid Delusions. It's actually, I played an event last night, and I did very well with this card, actually, on a rogue. Psychic Strike, I love it. A 3-mana counterspell, and then also they have to put 2 cards in their graveyards. A second Psychic Strike. So I like what I'm seeing from Dimir. Call the Nightwing's all right, too. But only if you have something that has evasion or is unblockable, because you're paying 4 mana to put a 1/1 creature token. So Dimir is so. This is really a good pack to go through or set because there's nothing really obvious. Then on to Boros. We got Sunhome Guildmage. It's very powerful. Martial Glory is a great combat trick, and we got 2 of them. So that's always good to see. It's almost as good as removal. Fortress Cyclops is okay. And then we move on to Orzhov. Executioner Swing is great. Purge of Profane, I never play it. Death Pact Angel. I don't think I've really pulled many of these in an Orzhov type situation. Although I'd probably throw it in there because if I was playing Orzhov, it would make the cut. So I think based on the dual color cards, the early leaders are going to be Dimir and Boros. So this is just the way I do it. Like I said, I like the Dimir because it's got the 2 Psychic Strike, and Boros is strong too. Boros works out well to splash some black removal too. So if we look at the black cards, we've got a Killing Glare, which is great. Balustrade Spy, that works great in Dimir. Both of these are great Dimir cards. Gutter Skulk's fine. Shadow Slice is fine too. I mean, it makes for just a killer combo when you talk about, like, let's say you have a Keymaster Rogue out there that's like 3/2 unblockable. You cast Shadow Slice, you ding them for 3. You Cypher it on a Keymaster. Keymaster attacks, does another 3. Then Shadow Slice activates. So that's 9 damage in 1 turn. I did that yesterday quite a few times. Dying Wish, okay, I never really play it. Syndicate Enforcer, solid Orzhov card. Basilica Screecher, very solid Orzhov card. Only second probably to Kingpin's Pet. Horror of the Dim, I never really play this card. And Grizzly Spectacle. So based on early Orzhov indicators, I mean, a Grizzly Spectacle, a Killing Glare, those are solid removal, but, you know, not tons. Let's look at the other half of Orzhov or Boros. A Night's Watch, this works out okay in Boros or Orzhov. Syndicate of Tights, a great 2-drop with Extort. Nav Squad Commandos is pretty solid in a battalion type deck. We've got a Smite and a Shielded Passage. Both are pretty solid for Orzhov. Dutiful Thrall, great Orzhov card. Blind Obedience, another Orzhov card. I'm liking Orzhov for sure. Guardian of the Gateless, I actually like this card. People talk a lot of junk about it, but at worst, it's an overpriced 3/3 flyer. At best, it could save your butt. Murder Investigation is okay. Shielded Passage is okay. We got another Syndicate of Tithes, Basilica Guards, Aerial Maneuver, and another Smite. I'm really thinking we're looking at a classic Boros Orzhov mix here, especially since we've got the Godless Shrine too, which is kind of nice. Let's check out if we have anything worth splashing red. Skullcrack, so-so. It's probably not bad in an Orzhov combo deck. Active Treason, Cinder Elemental, Ripscale Predator, very good. Warmind Infantry, great card. Wrecking Ogre, another great card. Mugging, it's an all-star. Practically a first pick for me if I feel like playing Boros. Scorchwalkers, great in Boros or Gruul. Homing Lightning, another great removal spell. Skinbrand Goblin, great. Sculptural Collapse, unplayable. Now, let's see what we got going on in blue. Sage's Road Denizen is a pretty good card. Scatter Arc is okay, but it doesn't cancel creature spells. Rapid Hybridization. It's a great card against Simic, I think, or late game bombs. Way the Thief is very strong. I just recently fell in love with this card. I kind of forgot that it's unblockable if you have a gate. So playing that along with a gate is very strong. Diluvian Primordial. 5/5 flyer. So I don't like things that cost so much. Agoraphobia is a great card. Here's that Keymaster Rogue I was talking about. 3/2 unblockable. Leyline Phantom. Another Leyline Phantom and a Metropolis Sprite. So blue cards. I'm kind of talking from a playability standpoint now, and then we'll go over. So green Solderhorn's great card, I think, if you're playing Gruul or if you're playing, really, even if you're playing Simic. Rust Scrab, okay card. Verdant Haven, excellent card. Very playable in limited. Spire Tracer, people play the hell out of this card. So 2 Verdant Havens and a Spire Tracer. I love Force Adaptation. It's a great card. Greenside Watcher is solid. Another Force Adaptation. Predator's Rapport is worthless. And Adaptive Snapjaw is great too. It's actually a great card even in, not even in Simic. As I take a sip from my Red Bull. Artifacts, I normally don't mess around with them, especially in Gatecrash. The only thing here that I like is a Millennial Gargoyle. Only if I have to put it in to deal with some flyers. I think in terms of how I build my decks in Limited, I think, first of all, synergy is the most important thing. A close second is removal. If you get both, you've got a good chance. And I think based on the cards we've got here, I'd like to try to put together probably my favorite combination to play for Sealed is red, white, black. So I don't see, maybe I'll sideboard the Millennial Gargoyle. I'm going to keep the Godless Shrine in there. I do like the Scar Guildmage for Gruul. However, there's just not enough. I just don't think there's enough Blood Rush cards. And I do like these 2 Paranoid Delusions. I guess if I was going to splash anything, I might play blue, black, or black, blue, white, black, blue. That might not be a bad. See, the white, black, blue is a lot less aggressive, but it's got some good tricks. It's got the Psychic Strikes. It's got the Keymaster Rogue. It's got the Cypher cards. Well, let's see how this one builds out. So the Godless Shrine, yes. So first I like to go through for removal. So Executioner's Swing, yes. Purge of Profane, no way. Death Pact Angel, that's a maybe. Whoa, I'm way off the screen. Sorry about that. Let's see here. The Sunhome Guildmage, that's a yes. Martial Glories, I look at those sort of like removal too, so those are in. And Fortress Cyclops I like too. So, Purge of Profane goes away. Let's get down here now. So for red cards, Homing Lightning is a definite. Mugging is a definite. Cinder Elementals, definite. Warman Infantry, Wrecking Ogres are both definite. Let's see. I like to go through and pick my absolutes first. So, like, Basilica Guards is a great Orzhov card. Syndicate of Ties, absolutely. Blind Obedience, yes. Dutiful Thrill, yes. Smite, yes. Syndicate, yes. Man, I don't know. Debtor's Pulpit, I don't love it because it's so damn expensive, but I've had it really ruin my day. That other Smite goes in for sure. And then for black, the Grizzly Spectacle, of course. Killing Glare, yes. Balustrade Spy, yes. And the two, the Syndicate Enforcer and the Basilica Screecher. Let's see where we're at. Total cards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Look how good I am at this, folks. Got my 23. So let's look at mana cost. Now we've got a 4-drop, we've got a 2-drop, another 4-drop, 1.5. We'll put that in the 2-drop. Another 4. Here's a 1. Another 2. Another 2. And the nice thing about Orzhov is you do want a lot of cheap spells, so you can extort. Like bringing in the Wrecking Ogre is a fine card in Boros. But I like to keep everything around 2, unless it's removal. 2 or 3 in when I'm gonna play Orzhov deck. Now Sunhome Guildmage is all right. Warmind Infantry is solid. Mugging's very, very solid. You can see most of my cards that aren't removal are very cheap. And I've kind of got these 2 random, really expensive cards. A 5 and a 6-drop. So the 2 Smites, a Dutiful Thrill, and the Mugging, I think, are great for 1-drops. For 2-drops, the Basilica Screecher is an absolute. Killing Glare, yes. Syndicate of Tithes or Tithes, yes. Blind Obedience, yes. Martial Glories, those are great. Sunhome Guildmage. And the nice thing about it, like a Martial Glory, is if you have 3 extort creatures out there and you don't even have any reason to really cast it, you can still cast a cheap spell and get your extort out of it. Sunhome Guildmage, Executioner Swing. I definitely have an issue around the 3-drops. I've probably got, the Syndicate Enforcer is a solid 4-drop. Balustrade Spy, yes. Grizzly Spectacle and Homing Lightnings, absolutely. Even if you can't extort them, they're good removal. And the Cinder Elemental. So I like to focus on removal first. Now, to tilt this deck more towards Orzhov, I might consider getting rid of these 3 cards. So the Fortress Cyclops, the Death Pact Angel, and the Wrecking Ogre. A rare, a mythic rare, and an uncommon. Probably because Fortress Cyclops and Wrecking Ogre are really more of a Boros play. And Death Pact Angel, while it's great, I mean, you definitely can extort on it. So maybe you want to look at, and I don't really have anything to deal with flying other than my removal. So if you're going to use removal in this deck, you're going to want to use it on flying creatures. I think dropping the Fortress Cyclops makes sense here, and bringing in something cheap like a gutter skulk, like 2/2 chump blocker guy that you can extort late game. I think the Wrecking Ogre is it's so good with double strike, and then having a double strike and then using Martial Glory on it. You basically have a 6/6 with double strike, so you're coming at them with 12. I think I'll leave the Wrecking Ogre in there. Death Pact Angel. Well, Death Pact Angel and Wrecking Ogre are still on the fence. I think possible swap-ins. These are things I'm kind of sharing. I'm thinking about. Possible swap-ins would be like Act of Treason or Skullcrack. Skullcrack specifically because one reason I like Skullcrack in an Orzhov deck is because it deals 3 damage to you, plus you extort it, right? So I pay 2, and then I'm coming, let's say I extort even twice. So you take 5, I gain 2, that's a 7 life swing. I think that's going in. I think Skullcrack goes in, and Death Pact Angel comes out. Also, when I play a 3-color deck, anything with double mana, like 2 red or 2 black, is dangerous to cast. And, you know, I think here I like that play more. If I were to keep the Wrecking Ogre in there, I'm going to keep the Wrecking Ogre in. But in game 2, I may swap it out for something like Shielded Passage. Or I might want to put a Guardian of Gateless, a Murder Investigation. It depends. If I end up with this deck, I actually have a ton of Extort. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 creatures with Extort. That's pretty solid. It gives me a pretty good chance of having at least 1, probably 2 out by, let's say, turn 4, turn 5. So I may want to really... The Guardian of the Gateless really helps here. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the Guardian, in terms of 5-drops, I'm going to put the Guardian of Gateless in instead of the Wrecking Ogre, and we're going to really try to hang on with our Extort. The reason the Guardian gets in is, 1, it's a flyer. It's the only thing that flies in my whole deck. So it can help, and it can also help hold off. It can help hold off flyers. It can help block an onslaught from like a Boros push. So that's my deck. I got 2 Smites, a Dutiful Thrall, a Mugging, then a Skullcrack, Gutter Skulk, Executioner Swing, Sunhome Guildmage, Martial Glory, Syndicate of Tiths, Blind Obedience, which is going to be the all-star card in this deck, I guarantee it. Another Syndicate, a Killing Glare, and a Basilica Screecher as my 2-drops. Still only 2 3-drops, but I'm okay with that. With a War Mine Infantry, which I like because it's a 2/3. As a blocker, it can handle like Gutter Skulk and all these other 2/2. It can handle any 2/2 drop, which I like. Basilica Guards, which is a great card. Then into my 4-drops, I got some early removal with the 1-drops with Smite and Mugging. I've got some late removal with Homing Lightning. Cinder Elementals, also some removal. Grizzly Spectacle, Balustrade Spy, Syndicate Enforcer, and then Guardian of the Gateless. A lot of people ask how, you know, what to do with mana, and sometimes people get real scientific. But for me, unless, you know, this is pretty much a true 3-way color, and the only double mana I really have is black with the Grizzly Spectacle, so I want to make sure I've got 2 black mana out there if I need to use my Grizzly Spectacle. So I think I put the Gravelous Shrine in here, which leaves me 16 mana, and I would probably go 5 red, 5 white, 6 black. I mean, I would just split it pretty evenly. There's 2 red on the Homing Lightning too, actually. So what I would do is go 6 red, 5 white, 5 black, and I've got the Godless Shrine to cover that little extra black too. So that's my limited deck. I actually think it will perform pretty well. These are my 23. Hopefully this was helpful, at least to kind of, I don't know, take you through the process I would go through in building a limited deck. I think Orzhov's very strong in Gatecrash Limited, and I think when you've got at least 2 removal cards in red, I think red's a great thing to mix in with Orzhov, because, I mean, you've basically got your Cinder Elemental. You've got, well, first of all, your Martial Glories, I think, are just as good as removal, because adding 3-0 or adding 3-3 in a combat trick is, I mean, basically just as good as removal. So you got 2 of those. You got your Cinder Elemental, which has got can be removal or direct damage. You got your Skullcrack as direct damage. And you've got your Mugging, which, don't underestimate. I mean, yes, it's great for killing stuff, but also if you have something coming through that you don't want blocked, you can stop something from blocking. Oh, I forgot on my Balustrade Spy, too, as a flyer. So I've got 2 flyers, 3 flyers with my Basilica Screechers. So I've actually got 3 flyers. So I've got good air coverage. I've got my Martial Glories. Like, even if you have Basilica Screechers out and you need to block something strong flying, you know, you can pump it and extort. Blind Obedience is an all-star. I feel like this deck would be very strong in a sealed event. If things went bad with me early, I might try the black-white-blue combination, but I still think that this is really strong. So if you have any questions, or there are things you would have done different, like you would have put this Goblin in, or you would have put the Scorchwalker in, something like that, or you would have went with completely different guilds, post them up on down below. I think that this should generate some really interesting conversation. If you have any questions about my thought process or things that you'd like to see in a future video, I'm using an entire booster box for limited tutorials. So if you'd like to see some draft tutorials, or you want me to do the limited tutorial or a sealed event, another sealed event, or try to do sealed a little differently, let me know. Definitely trying to get into a little more deck text, and limited is what I know. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and you know, I feel pretty strongly about this build. Probably kick some ass. So thanks for watching. If you like the feeble attempt at doing some deck tech, please help me out by crushing that thumbs up button down below the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you also take a moment and you subscribe to get notified when I upload additional videos and be eligible for giveaways and all that sort of thing. And I'd love to talk with you in the comment section down below. We have a great community here at MTG headquarters. Our subscribers are great about answering questions. So take your time and chat with me down below and post your questions, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks, and have a great night.